Tiny Combat Arena. Is it worth a buy, guys? Is it? Let's read the words of Microprose. Tiny Combat Arena is an approachable combat flight simulator, sporting a stylized look and various game modes. Dogfight your way in the arena and in quick action, or craft your own scenarios and take part in a vast war with objectives and friendly armies to support. So yes guys, this is a Microprose game. Now that's a blast from the past. Microprose games used to come with huge, thick manuals and keyboard overlays. They were great. I loved Microprose games. I had pretty much all of them. Loved them. Great simulators back in the day. And this one looks just like that. It looks like a 90s game. It's meant to look a bit shit. It's like a homage to the 90s flight sims. It's not really a flight sim though, in the sense that you don't need a PhD in astrophysics or a girlfriend with blue hair, you know. You can just dive right in. But first of all, let's have a look at the settings and stuff. There's a few things you can tweak and twiddle with to get it to run the way you want it. But the real options come with the actual game itself. Well, ways you can tweak the way your plane handles. This also supports a hot ass. I've been using this with my Cytec X52 Pro. It worked straight as soon as I plugged it in. I had to rebind some of the keys, but it did work straight out the box. I also had to turn the sensitivity right up because of my arm, and I had to support my arm on 2 pillows. I had a right fucking job with this, mind. First time I've used a flight stick since I smashed my arm to bits, and it was a very painful experience, especially when I'm doing a high banked turn. You know, when you whack the joystick over to say the right, and then you pull back to get a tight turn. My hand was shaking trying to hold the stick back. It was, and then pressing the buttons to lock on and everything. It was a freaking nightmare. But for all you people that don't have a screwed arm, I'm sure it's fine. It's also got full controller support. Not so good with a mouse, apparently. I didn't try, but I've heard it's not so good with a mouse. But it does work with a controller. Now, you have a couple of different scenarios that you can play in this. There's sort of an instant action where you can set what goes on, whether it's just dog fighting or whether you're doing a ground strike against an airport or something. You can even put tanks and anti-air in and stuff like that. You can set the difficulty of the fighter planes that you're coming up against and how many wingmen you have, and also their difficulty. There's also an arena mode where it's a bit like a war. A little war's going on. Your ground units will move against theirs and theirs will move against yours, and how you play in that will determine who wins the war. You support your troops, you capture areas and things like that. Personally speaking, I just really played in the quick combat thing. There's no campaign for this. It was just basically learning to fly with the stick and the way my arm was. I kind of did alright, to be honest with you. It's not a difficult game to play. It's very arcadey. It dabbles in the sim areas as well. It's like a nice blend between the both. I liked it. In fact, I like it a lot. It's a very easy game to just pick up and play. Plug your flight stick in and off you go. The handling of the plane, it's a Harrier, isn't it? It's a Harrier that you have in this. You only have the one plane, unfortunately. I thought that was a bit. I think they should have had a few more planes to fly. Whether that happens in the future, this is early access, we'll have to wait and see. But the Harrier takes off vertically. Every time I did that, I crashed. So I just did it the conventional way of just storming up the runway and pulling back and then knock off your flaps and your landing gear up, and then you're good to go. You've got afterburners as well. You have various armaments that you can select. There's ground, there's bombs that you can bomb airports, vehicles and things, and then you've got your air-to-air missiles. You've also got the Gatling gun at the front. It sounds like a Gatling gun. You can limit the ammo to that as well, or you can have it realistic. Same with the actual weight of the armaments will affect the plane. You can have damage and fuel and everything on there, so it does go a little bit into the sim side of things, but not too much, so that you can play it even if you're not into the actual sims. Now, I enjoyed the dogfighting. I think it's great. The just flying around. It reminded me of so many games that I played back in the 90s. It does what it says on the tin as far as making you feel like you're back in the 90s with them classic old games. I mean, obviously, people from today's generation will look at it and say, what the hell, this looks garbage. But I don't think it's really aiming at them people. I think this is more of a nostalgia trip. It's £10 at the minute. Its proper price is 15, but it's 30 off, I think, or so at the moment, so you can grab it for a tenner. And at that price, I think it's well worth it. There's a little bit lacking in the content. It's not going to do you for a long time, if you know what I mean. But it gives you that fix, it gives you that good feeling of blasting a plane out of the sky with an air-to-air, or just doing or just following them around and trying to get a bead on them with your machine gun. Then you get somebody behind you and you're trying to jink around, shake them off. You've got flares and chaff and all that to try and get rid of their missile locks. It's all good fun. It's really good fun. I kept forgetting that you can't crash into the ground, and I died more from the ground. To be honest, it was just trying to control the flight stick with my arm. That's a great excuse, isn't it? Do you buy it, guys? But it's the truth. It was just shaking Stevens on the stick. But guys, it is what it is. It's a very kind of small, well, it says it's tiny combat arena. It's just like a little bit of fun in a plane, in a Harrier, and I love it. It's just a really good little game. It's a fun game. That's all it is. It's a cheap game. It's a fun game. Where it goes from here, it's got huge potential, this, but I don't know where the developers are taking it. There's hardly any info on where it's going. We don't even know if there's any more planes coming. Is there a campaign? Is there more maps coming? Is it going to get multiplayer? We know nothing. We are Jon Snow, guys. So there it is. Tiny combat arena. Yeah, I'm thumbing this up because I had a blast playing it, even though it was damn painful. It's a really good fun game, but only go into this if you've got a hot ass. I've got a very hot ass. Or you can use a controller, but if you're on a mouse and keyboard, I wouldn't bother, to be honest. So there you go, guys. Tiny combat arena, worth a buy.